There's a message that just popped up on my screen. Okay. There we go. Okay, well, while I wait for everyone to get here, do you guys like my outfit? I think that I look really cool, honestly. Okay, so for those of you that like didn't read the title of the live, oh, thank you. For those of you that didn't read the title, we're going to be making this mask based off of Dobby from My Hero Academia. And this is the mask in question that we'll be making it from. I've already edited the eyes because I hate doing the eyes. I hate it so much. It's annoying. It took me like 2 hours yesterday to just do the eyes for the live. So we're gonna start by taking off the ears so that we can make the new ears, which I have traced into cardboard that I will cut in a minute. I am gonna use an X-Acto knife to cut the ears and other pieces. So if you're triggered by any of that, I don't know, click off, or that's unfortunate. So I traced out the ears and I made it more of like a rectangular shape because then I don't have to cut such a strange piece out of cardboard or foam or whatever I choose to fill in the gaps with. I start by doing the edges first, and then I kind of just do whatever I can to get it to cut after I'm done with that. I know it's probably difficult to see it. I'm going to try to turn myself away here. I got this outfit for Halloween, for anybody who previously saw my outfit, by the way. I'm probably going to wear it again this Halloween too, because I honestly have no idea what to choose for a character or anything at all. And then there we've got the ears done. Goodbye. That's always a fun, satisfying part of doing this. I don't know, should I use foam or cardboard? Go over there. I have a black piece of foam somewhere. I don't remember where I put it. Let me look down here. There it is. Okay. I got it from my grocery store, which sells like everything for some reason. So that's nice. And what I will basically do to fill in the ears is, you also need that in there. I hold the cardboard or whatever I'm using to fill it up, I hold it to the ear and I trace it with, I have this pen here that I got. I don't think I even got it for an occasion. I just kind of have it. Whoopsie. This might not work very well on black foam, but if you can see, there's like an indent there where I put the pen. See, is chat even working? Okay. I'm gonna use these normal scissors that I use. They're like kitchen shears to cut out these pieces. And I don't really recommend just trying to cut it immediately to the size of the mask. I always make a big dome shape here above where I'm putting it. So then it doesn't fit the mask, duh, but then I cut it into the shape that I want. Since this mask that I'm making looks a little bit shorter than normal. And I will just put hot glue around the edge here, like so. Kind of not the best hot glue job. This hot glue gun dries really, really fast. So when I do the felting or fleecing, you're gonna see me use like tacky glue. It's kind of just like Elmer's white glue, like liquid glue, which is honestly better to use because it also gives you more time to like not mess up. So I've got one ear filled in, and we're not gonna see it when I take this piece of fleece and put it over. I mean, you kind of will see it, but that's why you paint over it. And then I will just do the other side. Okay. When you're making a mask like this and you cut out the ears, I do recommend using white foam, but I don't have any white foam, or using white painted cardboard so that in case you are keeping your fleece or felt white, or in case you like have a really translucent felt, which is like my old felt that I used to use. In case your felt is like that, I recommend using white so that you can't see it so well. Okay, this side's being difficult, so bear with me here. It kind of looks like the Cloverfield monster, like from the back. Strange. And then I will cut it to size like this. I'm gonna cut it further in a minute, but cut it to just about where it matches with the mask. One of my real life friends just joined. And then we gotta cut. Let me look here. My reference is right here if you can't see it. It's in front of me. And I think I'll cut it a little bit shorter. If I am not able to respond to a lot of the live chats while you guys are talking, just bear with me, because at least this part of doing the mask is a lot to focus on so I don't cut or burn myself. These are the pieces of ears that I have traced on. They're not traced on very hard, so you won't really be able to see them. This is, I just like sized up the ibis paint. Sorry, wait. Okay, so I made this mask on like 3 separate layers for each ear and the face. And I sized it up to about the size of this mask, just to be sure that I would get the measurements correct. So, yeah, I traced it onto the sheet of paper and onto the cardboard. I have a feeling it's going to be difficult today, because it always is. Someone asked me how preppy am I? I wouldn't say I'm very preppy. I don't know. I don't think I'm very preppy, in my opinion. And then what I'm doing here is I'm going to trace this like onto the curve of the mask so that it fits properly. Please don't be like this today. I gotta make sure that it sits properly on the mask. I'm gonna use the X-Acto knife again for this, just to get a more fine cut. And for these, I'm not really using any protective measures to keep myself from getting cut by the X-Acto knife, because I don't think it's really that deep if I cut my finger. Now I have the general shape cut out. I'm going to go back in with my larger scissors and cut along here. This live might be pretty boring for you guys if you're watching, because it is just me making a mask. I'll probably be able to talk more when I'm felting it and painting it. So just bear with me on this. Sorry, I paused for a while. It said there was no one watching, so I wasn't gonna waste my breath if no one was there. I'm gonna cut out the second piece now. I think I'm just gonna hold it up to this one and kind of cut it out along a different piece. This one goes on the left or right side. I don't quite know my left and rights. I always have to do this. Even when I do horse riding, by the way, I do horse riding, for you guys that don't know. I have to like hold my hands up in front of me while I'm riding. I'm experienced, so I'm not like in any serious danger when I do all that. But it takes me a minute sometimes. Okay. This should come out even. I'm gonna trace the second piece along the side of this one because they aren't the same sides for some reason. I don't know what was up with that. Not quite sure how I should go about doing that, but I'll figure it out. I'm gonna hold it up. I'm holding it up to my reference so that I can check that they're like the same size. Yeah, they're probably good. I hope. If there is, okay, there's someone watching now. Good. I don't want to talk into the void. That would make my family think I am schizophrenic, and I don't want to be sent to a mental institute, so that's not very nice. Ugh. This ear is being difficult. I haven't really tried using this method to make my ears before, so this is going to be fun. When I'm done making this ear, I'm going to glue it onto the edge of my mask, and then I'm going to felt the base of the ear, but I'm going to add these little separate pieces, like this part here and this part here. I'm going to add those on separately because I think it'll make it look nicer, but we will see. I'm trying to line it up so that I can get the outline of it correct. And just making sure that I can trace it onto the other side right. Let me try again. I recently cleaned my table. I'm not joking. The other day, I scraped all of the paint off because my desk was covered in paint. I scraped all of it off, and then I'm painting a box for beads, and it fell over onto my freshly cleaned desk and got paint everywhere. And I didn't clean that up because I was not about to do that. If you see my hand going here, I'm scrolling through my different pictures to try and just get them right. Make sure I'm on the right slide when I'm cutting ears or the face. Gotta make sure each ear stays on right. I'm going to glue them onto the edge of my mask, like the very back edge here. Because it's just easier to do that. And then I don't have to line up any certain area where they go. I'm just making sure that they're in the right places before I hot glue them on and felt it. This is going to be a very boring part, just bear with me. All right. I'm going to mark along the edge as best as I can where I want it to be glued on because I don't want to get it incorrect. That would be very annoying. Okay. I'm going to do the right ear first. because it's the closest to me. You guys might not be able to see it very well, but I will try to show you in a moment. It is glued onto the back edge like this, kind of facing forward. Stay on there. 1/2 ear done. I'm putting more hot glue in the crevices because I can manipulate the foam into staying in place and pushing it into the ear. I feel like that's not lined up right. That looks better to me. Give me a minute. I'm figuring out where to place this one as well. I have not felted ears before. I always just felt the mask when it's bald. So if I do something wrong, just kind of bear with me. I'm gonna glue the left ear on. Please don't do that. Here they are. Compared to the base so far, this is what they look like. And this is what it looks like if I were to put it on my face. And then I'm going to felt this part with tacky glue. This is the kind that I get, and I kind of just poured on my mask, but I think this time I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I also need to make sure that I cut my fleece right. I did. Okay. Let me check the chat again. Oh no, it got stuck on the desk. That is so nice of you to just do that. How lovely. When I fleece my masks, I always start from this little area underneath the nose, because if you start from an area like here, or if you start from the ears, or if you just put glue all over your mask, especially when you're using hot glue, then it will wrinkle around here, and it's very annoying when it does that, in my opinion. Another helpful thing to do is to just constantly press it down like this to get rid of any wrinkles. So I think I'm just gonna hot glue the nose part. Put a little bit down. And then I'm gonna fleece the rest with, oh, it's doing it again. Yay, I love it when it does that. I did not cut my fleece enough for there to be a whole lot of space to glue it over, like behind the mask that you'll see in most tutorials. So I'm gonna peel it back. I'm gonna stick. Usually I just pour it on the mask, but that always ends in glue everywhere. This is my paintbrush that I use for glue. It is rock solid. It is literally like a piece of wood. I ruined my paintbrush with the glue, but it's not gonna fix itself, so I think I'm just gonna keep it like this. I always start, again, yeah, start with the bottom, because that's where most of the wrinkles are, or that's where most of the wrinkles are going to show up in the end. I'm using the fleece I bought from Hobby Lobby because it just works better. I'm gonna pour a little bit of glue onto this white area here. Please get out. Please leave. Thank you. Just a little bit, because every time I do multiple times for my twice mask and for the one with the butterfly ears, I have just put the tacky glue all over the mask and they always get wrinkles everywhere. I'm going to start with the forehead now. If the 4 people watching have not seen the rest of this, I use tacky glue because you don't have to work as fast. It gives you some time to be careful. Sorry, there's a comment. Let me read this. It's a long one. What places are good for mask making stuff? I get my masks on Amazon. You can buy them in like 10 pieces, 50 pieces. I usually only get them in 10 pieces. They're not very expensive. And if they are very expensive, choose a different brand because they shouldn't be. They're literally just paper mache. And I'm spreading the glue around the different pieces of my knife. This reminds me of a palette knife, but it is in fact a dirty paintbrush. And I'm going to push out any excess air and any big lumps of glue. This is what it looks like right now. I have not done the ears, so that's why they're kind of folding over themselves. And now I'm going to start on the ears. There's a bunch of leftover glue on my paintbrush that isn't really a paintbrush anymore. This thing has suffered years of abuse. I have used this paintbrush so much, and it just, if it was an animal, it would probably be dead. I should hope it's not an animal. That wouldn't be very fun. That'd be interesting if we could just use animals to paint things. Like, just dip my cat in paint and paint a mask with him. I have a cat, by the way. I'm going to tell you guys about my pets because I don't know what I'm even saying. I have 3 pets. Well, I technically have 2, but one of them is my mom's boyfriend's dog. And he has work kind of far away, so he often leaves his dog with us. Her name is Pepper, and she is a small brown dog. Her breed is called a Feist. She's a little rat creature. And she's very skittish. She doesn't really like new people. But she likes me, so maybe I'm just better than new people. And then I have another dog. We got her from a breeder, my other dog, Cosmo. She's an Australian Labradoodle. And she's brown and white, and she's very cute, and she's very friendly. And then I have one cat. His name is Mercury. He's the only boy pet. We adopted Mercury from a shelter. He came in with like 3 other kittens. He's very cute. He's very silly. He also does not like new people. And then I used to have a pet rabbit. His name was Pine. And I'm not a very good rabbit parent. I'm going to be honest. Those were not my brightest days. Don't trust me with your rabbit, ever. Pine used to live where that bookshelf in the back is right here. His cage used to be there. He was very cute. He was a Holland Lot. My friend used to have him, but her sister was highly allergic to the hay that like they would feed him and use as bedding for him. So they had to get rid of him. And to start, she just asked all of her classmates. And, you know, me being one of her classmates, she asked me. And I think that bunnies are very cute. And I had always wanted one. I was like, Mom, can we please get the bunny? So I saved up some money at Summerfest where I worked during the summer. And we bought the rabbit. And I had him for like a year. And then we put him up for adoption because he is a very hairy rabbit and it was getting hard for me to breathe. So I had to give him up. And also I just was not a good rabbit parent. I'm cutting the excess pieces of felt around the edges so that I can fold them over better. Especially down here, if you have a lot of excess felt, this part, it folds up, and that's what goes right below your nose. This is the place where you're going to be breathing, unless you breathe through your mouth, which I prefer to breathe through my nose when I'm wearing masks. But if there's a bunch of stuff here, then it's either not going to fit, or it's just going to smell like hot glue and chemicals and fleece, which I don't really like smelling all that. I'm gonna go put this paintbrush in the sink in my bathroom, which I'll be right back. I am here, and I think that I'm gonna glue. I always do this part, like the edges, with hot glue because it's just easier and is more reliable to keep it on for longer. And that's why doing like Elmer's glue and tacky glue around the face part is okay, because then you're kind of just, it's just a simple adhesive to keep it on, but like, then you put the hot glue on and you're kind of just sealing it down, sort of. I'm gonna cut off more excess pieces, and when you have the excess to your desired length, then you cut along like these places, like you see where the ear meets the mask, so then they can both fold on better into their different places, and then it doesn't just look like one strange blob of fleece and hair. You guys are not talking as much as I thought you would, I'm gonna be honest. When we're finished with the ears, I'm going to go in and use the piece of paper that we used for the tracing of the cardboard. And I'm going to just trace, like I said earlier, for the new people, these edges right here to make the ears look more three-dimensional, because I did not put them on the original mask. It's just flat right here. I'm gluing down the part in between the ears with hot glue. Ow. Be careful, by the way, if you're making a mask, or if you're using this as a tutorial, or if you want to make a mask in the future, because you will become immune to hot glue and you will burn your fingers. I'll show you an example in a minute. I've made a bunch of masks now. I'm going to wait till there's more than one person here, but you're just going to have to bear with me. You can fleece and felt the back of your ears if you want to on your mask. I usually don't, because no one's really going to see that part. Come on, man. Let me see if I can find... I used to have a bird named Perry White, along with the pets that I was talking about earlier. He was my mom's boss's old bird. And I overfed him to death on accident. I was like 5. So, that was interesting. And the other day, I was practicing to do quadrobics just for a little workout. And I did a pull-up on a tree, and a bird fell out of the tree. And, you know, you'd think that a bird falls out of the tree, it gets up and flies back away, but it didn't. So I scooped it up and I put it back into the bird cage that we used to use for Perry White. And then that was also the day that we left to go see Jurassic Park, the new movie. And it started raining really, really hard in my area. By the way, we had left the bird in the cage outside. So, yeah, it was nice. He was stuck in the rain for a while. He was still alive, but when I went back to check the next morning after I gave him raspberries the night before, and he was dead. So that was lovely. What a lovely topic to talk about on this live. That was an interesting experience in my life. I am cutting up the separate pieces of the mask, of the fleece on the back, so that I can, like, yeah, so that I can cut them better and it doesn't just look like one weird sheet of fleece that I've, like, shrink wrapped over the mask. Have any of you guys seen the new Jurassic Park movie? It was really interesting. My favorite character was the lesbian. I really liked her. She was like the pilot of the ship. She had short hair. And I think she spoke Spanish. And then she got like lost or like died. I was in the bathroom when it happened, but I was very disappointed when I came back and my mom told me that the lesbian was gone. That did not make me very happy. Ugh. To the one person watching this right now, can you like say a chat so I know who you are? Because I would like to know who's the one person that's been sticking around the whole time. Now that there's more than just one person here, trigger warning, but I'm going to show you guys what doing this all the time does to you and why you should really be careful when you're making masks like this. A lot of mask makers, like you'll see, when you're doing this part especially, you're really prone to, like, if I put a bunch of hot glue here and squish it down and I move my finger, hot glue can be, like, squished into my fingers. And then it's like this. That was not even on camera. What are we doing here? So I put some hot glue on my finger. Fresh hot glue. It's nice. Y'all gotta bear with me. It's gonna get so much more interesting when I'm painting. But it is really boring right now. And that's just how it is sometimes. That's why sometimes I lose motivation even when I'm making the mask myself. Is because it's just so boring doing the first parts, but you gotta power through it. There is hot glue crust all over my fingernails. I am done with the ears. That's what they look like when I'm finished. Not the best, but when I add fur and it's painted, it'll look so much better. Come on. I get hot glue strings all over my desk and all over my fingers when I do this. The brand I use for hot glue is not very high quality. I use this Surebonder one. It's like a mini, I think it's the mini one. I just happened to have it when I started making masks, and I haven't really felt like investing in a new one. If you're gonna get one though, I think you should get a Gorilla Glue brand one, and that's probably what I will upgrade to in the future. But if you don't have a hot glue gun and you want to make masks, get a Gorilla Glue one. A lot of tutorials that you'll see when you make masks will recommend that you like literally shred these pieces on the edges, like cut them up so finely, but that isn't necessary. You really just have to cut it where there's like, where it curves. Like you see, I cut the felt here, I cut it along the ear a little bit. You can see the separate pieces here. I cut it on the edge here, on the edge here, and two separate pieces for each side of the nose. And when you do the eyes, you kind of just cut wherever you can. 'Cause that one's, the eyes are complicated. I don't really like doing the eyes. Because especially for this one, if you can see better in the reference, the eyes are kind of small. And if you look in the back here, the eyes are a little small. Compared to my face, they're kind of tiny. And I have another mask with small eyes, and every single time I try to use her for a video, I get mad because I can't see anything. So it's lovely. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. So I'm just kind of folding down each piece into the hot glue. I never really hot glue it onto the fleece like this. I never put the glue along this part. I always put the glue in the mask and then fold it over like this. It's easier. And it also ensures that you can squish it over and like squish any big vats of glue or big air bubbles out. Ow. The hot glue is still hot, which is strange. Usually this stuff dries immediately. I have all these hot glue trails coming off of the ears. How lovely. Is anybody, okay, 2 people are watching. I gotta start yapping about something. You probably can't see the reference very well right here, but it is based off of Dobby from My Hero Academia. I was gonna add a snout for this design. I was intending on adding a snout. But I decided against it because all of the snout tutorials I saw make the snout look like a block you've like glued, unfortunately, onto the face of your mask. I do not like that very much. Oh, now I'm gonna cut the eyes with the X-Acto knife. You kind of just cut along here and along here. And then I usually cut down, like making crosses here. I usually cut it into 4 different sections. And I also recommend using a scissors for this part. It does the same job as an X-Acto knife, just a little bit better. A little bit more efficient. Oh, the eyes might turn out to be too small. This is nice. I hate it when the eyes do that. I very much dislike it. Unless I pull it down as hard as I possibly can. Another issue if you get like thick fleece or thick felt is when you're gluing it into the eyes might become way smaller than they should be. Like these, where I have to be careful because the eyes are small to begin with. So I have to make sure that the eyes are bigger than they should be when it comes to like cutting them out of the mask. So for this design, I'm just going to take pieces of fleece and I'm going to pull them down as hard as I possibly can so that the felt stays like that. And I'm going to do the same with this side. I'm probably going to cut the mask more. Sorry if it's off camera, but this is not an easy process, especially when it comes to a difficult mask like this. Stay in there. Okay, there we go. Ouch. Okay, I keep getting hit by hot glue, like when you squish it down, but it's not that deep. Here's what the bottom of the eye looks like. He looks very tired. I'm gonna be honest. He looks like he hasn't slept in 13 days. You need to go to bed, bro. Ugh. Where? The eyes are being difficult. This is what I was saying earlier. I had the eyes cut out of the mask before all of this happened because I just hate doing them. And even when you're felting them, it's just not fun to do this. I wonder if I'm talking to anybody. If you're here, chat something, because I want to know if my algorithm and my analytics are being correct. Because it says there's no one watching, but I have 2,000 people that like me, and I feel like it's unlikely that there's only, you know, no one here. Oh, okay. Nice. I'm trying my hardest to keep the eyes as big as possible because the eye holes are very tiny. Like here, they're obviously very small. I might not put mesh in so that I can see, but I probably will put mesh in because that's how you make sure that you know what character I'm making a mask based off of. I know you probably can't see much to the no people watching right now, but I am just doing the eyes right now, and I'm not very happy with the fact that they're smaller than they should be, but I can't really do anything about that. He looks so cute, and that is not what this character is. Dobby is not the cutest person ever, in my opinion. Don't fight me on that. I know there are some people who watch my videos who will probably come to my house and jump me for saying that. Here's what the eyes look like so far. I'm gonna try to even them out a little because they're not the best. My knees hurt. I have old person knees. I have like arthritis knees. Okay. I can see kind of out of them. Not very well, but we'll see once I felt it. Now we're gonna start on the extra pieces of the ears. We're gonna do that by just cutting this part off, cutting each of these little pieces out. I'm gonna stop talking until another person joins, so if you're watching this when the live is no longer live, or if you're here, say something, because I don't want to be boring. Okay, there's a human has joined the chat, everybody. I say everybody like there's more than one person watching. I'm working on the extra parts of the ears on the mask so far, the 3D parts. And I'm gonna trace them into my cardboard. Bear with me. Where's my pen? My pink cat pen. Where? Okay, well that's lovely. I kind of need that pen. Where'd you go? That pen wasn't cheap, I'm gonna be honest. That pen was way too expensive. I'll just use a pencil. Did I put it in a crevice? I have a lot of different places to put stuff in my desk. So it might have landed in one of those, but I can't see it. I cannot find her. I usually don't put the ears on my mask. Like, usually I place them on separately from the mask, and they always end up looking funny. So I'm gonna try to avoid doing that this time. Again, if you're watching this after stream, it says there's no one watching, so I'm not gonna waste my voice if no one is watching. Well, I didn't think I was this boring, but maybe it's just the nature of this stream, but no one has joined in like 10 minutes. when I add them onto the mask, I'm going to put the felt pieces on separately. But, okay, well, this is like one little piece of it. My back hurts. I'm wearing my binder right now, and it gives me back pain. I don't know why. It might not be my binder. I might just be sitting like a shrimp, but who knows? Come on. Well, then I gotta find something else to talk about. So then if no one's watching this, then people are probably gonna be able to see it later. I don't know how many of you are actually gonna watch this when it comes out, which will be a long time after this because this mask process is not going very fast. If you haven't noticed yet, I have my nails painted like this. I only have my pinky finger painted blue. And if you guys don't know who Yellowker is, you need to go find out who they are before coming back on this channel ever again. They're the person who wrote Harpy Hair. And I don't really like Harpy Hair, but I listen to their other music. And they wrote... Sorry, I'm going to tape this on so that I can get it cut out right. Or no, I'm actually not going to tape it on. I'm going to put this tape on my elbow. So they have 4 characters called the Lark. And one of them, who is kind of the main character-ish, their name is Cole Seymour. And in the album cover for Cole's response, you can see that Cole only has their nails painted like this, their hands kind of going like that, and it lets you see the pink, what? I'm not colorblind, I swear. The pink, nope, not the pink, the blue nail that they have, and I liked it, and I like painting my nails, but I don't usually have the time or know what to do because it always just peels off immediately, or I peel it off on my own accord because it's annoying. So I figured out something, and something actually meaningful to paint my nails as. Come on. I'm tracing on the little 3D extra pieces. I'm tracing it like this. I know the quality is bad, just bear with me. I got cardboard in my eye. And speaking of that, speaking of eyes, here's a lower drop here. I have something called tetrachromacy, which means I can see more colors than the average person. And I never realized that until I saw one of those stupid little videos about, do you have this, do you have that? But, ow, sorry, I have to squeeze the kitchen shears really hard to get them to cut the cardboard, and it's being problematic, so. Now I have the 2 pieces for the sides of the ears, for the bottom sides, and they will both go like this. I'm trying to compare them to the actual mask that I have in front of me. I have the reference in front of me. And it looks like this. It's based off of Dobby from My Hero Academia. more people need to start pulling up before I end the stream, because if no one's gonna be here, I think I'll just do it myself and try to get it done as fast as possible. It says there's no one here again, so if you're watching this after the live is finished, that's why I am not talking. I can't breathe very well. I'm wearing a mask because I'm kind of... Here's the outfit I'm wearing. It's based off another character from My Hero Academia, and he wears a mask. So I'm wearing the mask the whole time also to make sure that my face is hidden, because YouTube has strict guidelines about that. Like, no one under 16 can show their face without a parent or something dumb like that. So I'm wearing a mask just in case I have to lean over to look at something on my desk, or just in case the camera spins or something, then you won't be able to see me. And I don't know if either the live will get taken down or the chat will get turned off. It's not like anyone's chatting anyway. Y'all need to start talking, because I did not come here just to be watched like you're in my walls or something. My knuckles hurt. This is not a very fun process. If you don't have strong hands, don't do this. Oh, yeah, I forgot. These are in kind of like weird places on the mask. So they're just gonna kind of look funny anyway. My garbage can is back here, like behind my desk. So if you ever see me like holding something back here, I'm cutting it over my garbage can so that it doesn't get all over my desk. I don't know how my desk already has paint on it. I like cleaned it off yesterday with the razor. It was annoying. I cannot escape paper over my desk. So I think I'm just gonna glue each piece onto this little sheet I have here. Like, just glue them all on like that and cut them out. So let me check which is which. Or I'm just kind of going to assign them like sides left and right. Does that ever happen to you guys? It just happened to me where, like, if you're cutting something and it's at a strange angle and it just like explodes and it like hits the wall or like the person sitting next to you. I do not like it when that happens. Okay, so to the nobody here, I'm gonna FaceTime my friend and we're gonna see if she picks up. I'm gonna FaceTime every person I have here and see if they pick up. This is Ragnar Butterback Fishbowl. Give her a minute. She's not very intelligent, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. Click the FaceTime button. Okay, no, it's broken. Come on, man. Give me a minute. Ragnar, pick up. Miss Butterback Fishbowl. Yeah, I feel like my fingers work, so I don't know. I'm tapping the FaceTime button profusely. Let's see if I can get... Oh, I don't have that on this device. I used to have Messenger Kids on this device until it stopped being supported on this old-ass iPad. So that was lovely. And now I can't talk to my friend who has Messenger Kids. Okay. The second side always seems to be a lot larger than the other side for some reason. Let me know in the comments after this video, to the nobody watching right now, who your favorite music artist is, because now I'm gonna yap about it, because I have nothing else to do. When the Wolfwalkers movie came out, for those of you that don't know, its most popular song, Running with the Wolves, has another artist called Aurora, who features in the movie. So, we were watching a little, not a documentary, but it was like something about the news or whatever, and it was talking about, oh, this new movie called Wolfwalkers came out, and it played a part in Running with the Wolves that had like a really lovely riff at the end, and I was like, wow, that is the most amazing singing I've ever heard in my entire existence on this earth, in my entire like 70 years on the earth at that time. And I had to figure out who sang it. So, being on this old ass iPad, I pull up Apple to like look at it, and I search the song up, and it's Aurora. Sorry, I keep bringing this up to the camera because I need to assign these parts, and I keep not assigning them different parts. So I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm listening to it, and then I tried to listen to the rest of the soundtrack for Wolfwalkers, and of course, because it's a movie, a lot of the music doesn't have like lyrics, because why does it need lyrics? It's a movie, it's supposed to be background music. So I was like, okay, well, this is boring, and I don't want to listen to this anymore. So I go into Aurora's music page, and this was about the time when like a different kind of human and infections of a different kind came out for her albums. And I was like, I listen to that all the time, and I've listened to her ever since. She's been my favorite music artist for like forever. Okay, what am I doing here? Sorry, I need to get this together because I don't know what I'm doing here. You go here. Here. Okay. No, okay. The back side needs to be facing up. And then, what's another one of my favorites? I really like Epic the Musical, and I started listening to it when the Cersei saga came out. Like, that's when I started actually caring about it. Because for everything before that, I was, like, not present in the fandom. And, okay, this is being difficult again. My brain is malfunctioning, and you just gotta bear with me. Okay, so no, this doesn't go on the left, this goes on the right, and I'm stupid. Bear with me. Okay. And then, around that time in my life, it was really interesting. Around when the Cersei saga came out, my mental health was, like, terrible. If you're triggered by this, like, skip a few seconds. Oh, and a bunch of people just joined. Okay. If you're triggered by people talking about their mental health, maybe leave. But around the time when the Cersei saga came out for Epic the Musical, my mental health was getting absolutely terrible. And I was like, just guess how I was feeling based on what I said earlier. And I was literally, like, intending to end it. I'm not joking. I literally, like, had all this planned out. And I had done it. I had almost done it before. Like, multiple times. So, around, I think it was, like, April or June kind of time. And that's when the Underworld Saga was gonna come out. And then Aurora's new album was also shown to come out. And, not kidding, literally that is why I'm here today, is because that music, like, decided to be released around that time, is why I'm literally here on this live right now and why I'm able to, like, exist. So that's nice. Again, no one's watching, so if no one's watching, I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm probably gonna, if you're watching this when the live is over, I'm probably just gonna randomly stop because a lot of people just decided to not watch. And I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of boring. So. What's another music artist I like? I like a lot of different music. And I really like Melanie Martinez. I like her music. I don't know. A casual fan of Melanie Martinez. I have another online friend who really likes her music. I really like Arctic Monkeys, the band. I've been listening to a lot of their songs recently. Get off of my scissors, please. Okay, so for the people that are new here, because there's been nobody watching for like an hour, I am putting the extra pieces of the ears on. This is the mask that we're making, and I'm putting these extra little black pieces. I'm making them, and I'm going to attach them to the mask in a minute. It's hard to breathe in this mask. If you hear heavy breathing here and there, it's because it's hard to breathe in this, and I'm wearing a binder, so it's like I'm just restricting my breathing in every possible way. Because it's lovely. How dare you? My piece just fell on the ground, so don't mind me. Okay, still no one's watching, so again, yeah, if I randomly pause and stop talking for like minutes on end, it's because no one's watching. I'm going to try and outline the different parts of this, like where they should go. After I do this, though, I'm going to finish these extremities here. I used to paint my dog with chalk. I used to get the hose out from behind our house, and I would get the chalk all wet, and I would start painting my dog with chalk. And one time, it wouldn't come out, by the way. The chalk would not ever come out. So I'd be sitting here painting my dog. I usually did it with friends, too. Like a group of 5 little kids sitting here painting a dog. Ow. Sorry, I got hit with hot glue. And I live in a swing state, but this year they voted red. So, for those of you that don't know, in America at least, a lot of people living in red states are homophobic and transphobic and just not very good people. In my opinion, honestly. So, because the chalk isn't washing out of my now rainbow dog, they take my dog, my parents, my mom's boyfriend takes the dogs to the dog park. And this dude that was in the military, he got scared that my dog was gay. I don't know how a dog would possibly come out as gay. So that was interesting. There would be chalk dust all over couches. We have these 2 couches that are like dark blue. And because of the material that they were, you could see the chalk perfectly. Ugh, stop! I keep getting burned with hot glue. I don't like these pieces, but they're always like that. They've never ever been good. And apparently no one has ever been watching this. If you're watching this and my counter is just wrong, say something, bro. Because I am low-key very bored right now. If you join this live, just say something. Even if you're watching this after the live, just comment something. Because I'm bored. Alright. Come on. I have all this hot glue. I need to take this tape off my wrist. Ouch. I have all this hot glue stuck to my fingers from doing these little pieces on the sides of the mask. And they're like crusting up on my fingers. Oh, a fun story. We call it the maker space at my school, but it's basically, we do a class there. It's kind of like a STEM class. And we get to use hot glue guns a lot when we do our projects. And back in the day, when everyone in my class was stupid, it's not like everyone in my class is smart now. All of my classmates are actually, like, dumb. I dislike them highly. But I'm sitting here in Makerspace, and they figured out that on the silicone that you can, like, make stuff on, you can actually put big globs of hot glue down, and they will not stick to the silicone. So they're shaping them into little things, putting a bunch of hot glue down onto the silicone, and like shaping them into hearts or stars or whatever. So there would be a bunch of ones that like people would forget about. They put the big globs of hot glue down on the silicone because they're idiots, and then they'd forget about it and leave. So I'm sitting here, and I'm making something, and I see one of these big globs of hot glue, and it was like halfway dried, so I was like, oh, somebody must have forgotten this, and I'm just gonna take it, because they're not gonna remember that. So I take the hot glue, and it wasn't dry, and I, like, screamed so loud. I swear they could hear it from the hallway. It hurt so bad. And now I could probably do that and not feel any pain at all, I'm gonna be honest. It is hard to breathe in this mask. You can get high off of the air and whipped cream cans. Just so you guys know. To the one person watching, you can actually do that. It's interesting. I tried it once before, but I think they have to be empty. I'm not a drug addict. I'm only 13, chat. Don't get your head twisted. Don't do that at all anyway. I feel like that'd probably kill you. But I tried it once, and either I didn't do enough of it or it just wasn't working, because I was not feeling it. I was also scared that I was gonna get whipped cream up my, like, nose. I was trying to squirt air into my mouth because you can get a little crazy. For the new people watching, you can get a little silly off of the air inside of whipped cream cans, but I think they have to be empty because I tried it once and it didn't work. I don't know if this is a scientifically proven fact or if I'm just a crazy old man, but just bear with me here. One time when I was a little kid, I was playing on, like, a raft. I have a pool at my house and we often purchase, like, little rafts. So I'm sitting here on the raft with a bunch of my friends, and I tried to do, like, a flip off of the raft, but, like, this is the raft. I'm sitting here on the edge of the raft. That's not a very big raft. I'm here. And I tried to flip off forward and backwards in a way that would land me under the raft, and I thought I was going to drown because I couldn't swim very well. I was crying for, like, 20 minutes because I'm an idiot, apparently. So that was lovely. Sorry, I'm looking at the new chat. Okay, whatever. Again, no one's watching it, so I might pause a little bit more. What are some other... One time I peed on my brother's carpet, like, deliberately peed on his carpet, just because. I don't know why. I was, like, 5, okay? This wasn't recent. Just telling you guys all of my little secrets here. I have one 3D piece finished, and get off. They're attached together now. Like, the two different pieces are attached. It's so nice. One time I tried to convince my brother to, like, give me something by, basically, I was intending to take my dog's paw print. I was gonna, like, stick her foot in, like, watercolor. And I'd make it seem like it was written by my dog to make it seem like my dog was asking him for something. And it didn't work. My dog is really hairy. And she has very hairy feet. And she had not gotten groomed recently at that time. So it was just like a purple stain on the paper. I'm just measuring out what they look like on the mask right now for those, to the 0 people watching, if you want to see what it is. I'm gonna put my final extremity on this. Here's another little piece of information. I do Invisalign treatment, and I also have sensory issues, so I have to clean them thoroughly every single night. And I have a mirror in my bathroom, like most sane people, and it only really goes up to about my shoulders. And basically how I have to clean it is, like, imagine this is the toothbrush I'm cleaning it with, and I have to clean it like this. But if you're just looking at my shoulder, like here, it just looks like that. So, I can't breathe in this, I swear. So every single day and night when I'm cleaning my Invisalign, it just looks like I'm jorking it into my sink. It's interesting. Every single day. I have to look at myself and try not to bust out laughing, because it looks like I'm jorking it, but I'm actually just trying to clean my Invisalign. Yeah, lovely. I really hate incompetent people. I'm gonna talk about this now because there's like no one watching. And my brother is really incompetent and boring because my mom's kind of a permissive parent. And that's the kind of parenting that leads to the Gen Alpha kids that we know. So he never really learned how to like do anything for himself. And like he literally couldn't work a microwave at like 11 years old. Like we told him to like microwave a crepe and he was physically unable to do it. He like yelled at my mom. He was like, "What? I don't know how to do this. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Sir, you're 10. It's like you're trying to microwave mac and cheese. Why are you screaming at the person who birthed you?" But no, he doesn't understand that. He's being irrational. I don't like my family very much, I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, I have a bunch of hot glue crust on my fingers now. I think I'm gonna put these pieces on after. I'm gonna put the extra pieces on later. I'm gonna outline the paint in a minute. Oh, come on, man. There's no one watching right now, that's why I'm being so quiet. Let me think. I have this one friend. We were trying to FaceTime her earlier, but she isn't very smart. She's really not smart. And my friend bought an Aflac plushie, like the duck, and it had a voice box in it. So, like, you squish it, you press the little voice box, and if you, like, press it enough times, it just, like, screams at you. And he sent us a video of it, and it was kind of funny. And it literally said Aflac on the front. And it was saying Aflac, like, you could tell that if you weren't, you know, deaf. But apparently my friend's deaf. And the issue with her is that nothing can really exist outside of her own, like, perception of the world already. She's not actually deaf. Let's just be clear on that. I'm getting so much hot glue crust on my fingers. She's not actually deaf. But she has cousins who are half black. Her grandparents are from the Philippines. And she thought it was saying half black because, she already knows her cousins are half black, but she just assumed that this random duck plushie had something to do with that. And was talking, like, it was just kind of screaming at you. It's like, are you even intelligent? She was like, "Oh, is it saying half black?" When it says Aflac on the screen, on the plushie. It's like, are you even alive? You're obviously not very intelligent. I'm gonna check why I can't FaceTime anybody because something is broken here. Let's see if I can FaceTime her again because something is off. Let me grab this. My messages isn't working. I'm just gonna kind of accept the fact that it's not functioning. It's so hard to breathe in this. I apologize to anybody watching this stream when it's finished. I swear there's like nobody watching. I have one friend who, she was gonna be here. I don't know if either something happened last minute or if she's been sitting here the whole time and just not saying anything. But she has not been here. And also no one has been here. So that's why I'm so quiet. And I don't really have any more stories to tell. Let me talk about my step siblings. My dad married his high school sweetheart. Her name is literally Susie. Like, I don't know who named you, woman. But she has like 2 kids. She adopted 1 kid. And what are we doing here? So when I would come over to her house to not only just see my dad, but also to meet her kids, I would hang out. She had 3 kids, and one of them was 5. One of them was like an adult, and one of them was my age. So of course I'm hanging out with the one that's my age. And her name was Brooklyn. And one time, I thought this was kind of funny. She always had her hair cut really short. And one time she had it cut like way shorter than usual, like past how short my hair is now. It was really short. And I was like, oh, Brooklyn. I thought she was trans because she had always kind of presented kind of masculine. So I was like, oh, Brooklyn, did you cut your hair because you're trans or because you identify as a guy? And she didn't realize, or maybe she did, that I was an idiot who like didn't quite understand why. She just had her hair cut because. But I was like, Brooklyn, why did you cut your hair? And she was like, haha, I'm a Sigma male. Because she's like that. And I thought that meant trans. And apparently I'm just unintelligent. So she just kind of laughed in my face for like 10 minutes while I sat there questioning whether or not she was trans. I don't think she is. I'm just not smart. What's another one? One time, for the ones who know, there are these little balloons that are supposed to be kind of like punching bags, and you blow them up with air, and they're very big. They're a lot bigger than normal balloons that you'd buy at like a store. And they have a little rubber band attached to them, so you can hold it and like punch it. I don't know. But one time we had a bunch of them from like a party at Brooklyn's church, and we filled them up with water in her kitchen. And Brooklyn's kind of clumsy and also not the most intelligent creature alive. And this giant water balloon, it was like this big when it got filled up, like this large. It was huge, and it was so heavy, and she dropped it on her kitchen floor. Water was everywhere. I was surprised that a little thing could hold that much water. And we couldn't wipe it up with a towel. We had to use a whole blanket because the mess was so big. So that was lovely. What are some other stories? I don't really have other stories. I do. One I can't say on here. Another I also can't say on here. Let me think for a minute. Well, because no one's... Oh, there's a person here. Greetings. No one's been here for like an hour, so if I'm quiet, bear with me. One time I got ran over by my friend's dogs. When I was a kid, I used to think that all of these animals and dogs, I used to think that all of them really liked me. Because I'm really good with animals. And so just because I was decent handling them and because animals liked me back for it, not she specifically, but like all the women in my life, or just anybody who saw me doing this was like, oh my gosh, you're an animal whisperer. And I was a horrible child. I was not a very good child at all. And I thought that they were completely right. I thought that I had some magical unicorn powers to talk to animals. And I couldn't. Turns out, isn't it crazy that I can't, talk to animals? So one time, this lady that I was friends with from my church, I went over to her daughter's house for like her daughter's birthday or something. And what was it? Her dogs were like, she let her dogs out. And they were running around outside and they were like play fighting and just running along while I did it. And they were running straight towards me while I'm sitting in the backyard. Like straight at me. So I assumed, I'm like, oh, they must want to play with me. And they didn't. I don't think they even saw I was there, and they just ran me straight over. It was nice. I have to start painting now, and I don't really want to do that, but it's going to be a little bit more interesting when I start doing that. It's not going to be so boring. I'm just going to start by painting the base mostly like black. Most of it is this blackish blue color. And yeah, that's it. Pretty much it. I'm gonna shut this thing right here. Oh good, there's somebody watching. My masks always get a whole lot more interesting when I'm able to start painting them. So just bear with me here. I got these paints for like my birthday sometime. I've been the artist in the family. So if any of you guys know anything about that, people are like only giving you sketchbooks and paints instead of like anything useful except for like socks. So I'm sitting here. Sorry, wait, no, I don't have a story to go along with that. My aunt has a hamster named Kirby, and Kirby is really mean. I don't really like Kirby. I think Kirby the hamster is kind of mean. My aunt has this hamster. Every single time, my aunt has 2 kids, and one of them has cerebral palsy. Her name is Riley. I like Riley. Riley's chill. But, they're kind of like caught up with most of their time taking care of their child. So they don't really have room for pets. They also live in like kind of an apartment building-ish, like a condominium or something. So they don't have a whole lot of like area to have a pet anyway. They have 1 cat and he's like ancient. His name is Toby and he's like 4,000 years old. He's like a wizard or something, bro. That cat needs to do a backflip, I swear. This is going to negatively affect the shrimp population. Ugh, get off my fingers. I'm trying to open this ancient little thing of paint here. There we go. I'm using this. What does that even say? What in the Ronald McDonald are those words? Something blue. Paleontologist. That does not say paleontologist. Is this blue enough for me to use on its own? No, it's not. I need more blue. I need black. I need some black. That's what I need. But because my aunt is mostly caught up with her time taking care of her daughters. She has 1 daughter that does not have cerebral palsy and 1 that does. But she has a hamster named Kirby that she's owned for a while, I think. And I loved animals, and she has a cat, like I said, Toby, and he's really skittish. So I couldn't really go and pet him, so I'm like, oh, well, this hamster who's stuck in a cage, and you can't really... I kind of just turned this blue black. There's no blue anymore. Is there? My tetrachromacy is failing me. No, not really. Okay, so I need to just add a ton more blue over here. And I was like, oh, well, Kirby the hamster's here. I can go and pet him because he's a hamster, and they don't really have free will as hamsters. In case you didn't know, hamsters don't really have free will. So I'm trying to get Kirby out of his cage for the first time, at least the first time while I was at her house. So I'm trying to grab Kirby out, and I open the door and he hissed at me. I didn't know hamsters could even do that. This dude hissed at me. So that was lovely. And then I tried again the next day, and he also hissed at me, and he tried to bite me. I don't feel like it was very nice. I think I'm gonna get a thing of water. I'll be right back, since no one's even watching. Ow, my knees! I'm using this to water down my paint so that it goes further. I probably shouldn't paint that black. I need to avoid painting the ears, which I already painted an entire ear, so I think I kind of messed up on that regard. My stepsister also has 3 cats, and one of them is named Poco. And Poco is like the fattest cat in human existence. Poco is XL, I swear. He's so big. And every single time I would try to... Poco was kind of mean. Poco hissed at me a lot. She had only like girl cats, and if you don't already know, girl cats are a lot meaner than boy cats. At least in my experience, every single girl cat I've ever met has been mean. They have one cat named Jeffrey, who is a girl. And Jeffrey was really small. Jeffrey has the tiniest little head. And the biggest eyes. Jeffrey had huge eyeballs. And Jeffrey's the reason I can't smell. Another lore drop, I have no sense of smell. Because Jeffrey scratched me right in between my eyes. And ever since then, I just haven't been able to smell. I know it sounds cap, but either my nasals are messed up beyond repair, or Jeffrey's just a big meanie. Because I can't smell anything. I'm doing the base layer of paint now. This is gonna take a bit. I'm not painting every bit of the mask black yet, because not every bit of the mask is black. This is probably difficult to see. I'm putting a little bit of water on my brush in between each little, like... Oh, no. Ugh. I didn't cut the mask right. Okay, well, it's not like I'm gonna see it anyway, but that's quite annoying. I don't like that. I should probably have done that earlier, and I'm not going to unfelt this whole mask or make a new one, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. No one is watching again, so that's quite nice. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 4:45 p.m.
Okay, so it has been like an hour 45 minutes since I started. I am so mad that I did that. I like literally had the guidelines set to cut it and everything. I should have literally just made the base of the mask before I did the stream. That is annoying. But again, it's not like the world's gonna blow up just because I forgot to do that, so. Yeah. I'm just using the cardboard that I used to make the ears earlier. I'm gonna end the stream in a minute because I swear if no one is watching in 5 minutes, I'm going to end it. Not my life, the stream. This may negatively affect the shrimp population. I'm not gonna pay my taxes, I swear. Come on. Okay, hello person. There's been no one watching, so I might be a little quiet. I'm working on painting the mask. I just realized that I didn't do the base right, and that's okay. But it is a little annoying. I'm watering down my brush in between each stroke so that I can get the paint on right and make it go a little bit further, and they've left. People keep popping up and leaving, and it's making me want to jongle myself. Ugh. Did you guys know that Bruno Mars isn't actually from Mars? Or that Bill Gates isn't an actual gate made up of dollar bills? I'm gonna scoot forward so that you guys can see it better. Trying to get every little piece, every little crevice in the mask. Oh, okay. Another human has joined. One time I did a flip into my pool and I hit my head so hard that I like cried for a day. I'm not joking. One time my brother hit me so hard that it left a hand mark on my back for like a week. So that was nice. One time he threatened to throw a chair at me. One time I took the cookie. My mom usually makes cookies. And one time I took the cookies with more chocolate chips and I had to hide in the bathroom crying because my brother was trying to break down the door to like beat me up over it or something. Like I don't know what his end goal was, but he's not very chill. So all of this area pretty much here is not going to be seen. All of the areas that I haven't painted are going to be painted a different color later. So I'm just getting as much as I can finished of this. I really hated my second grade teacher. One time I was passing notes with my friend, and it was second grade, obviously, because it was my second grade teacher. But we're passing notes, and the note literally just said hi. The note I passed her that the teacher saw me passing literally just said hi. And the teacher made us sit inside for our 45-minute recess, writing about why we need to fix our behavior. She also tried to make that same friend get a dyslexia test, and the test came back negative. And the teacher is just trying to make the kid feel like she has dyslexia. I don't even think Zoe knew what dyslexia was. I'm gonna be honest. She might have. She's a strange little creature. I don't know. I get to start painting these little pieces now. I am mixing this dark blue and this black that I have. I'm gonna end the stream, actually, because this is gonna be so boring for anybody who isn't watching. I think I'm gonna make a new stream just in case, like, more people watch it. I don't know. So, yeah. Okay, there's a human here. If you can convince me not to end the stream, I won't. But there's been no one watching, so I might just turn it off and make a new one. I'm making a mask. Okay, no one's watching. I'll give it 5 minutes, alright? Okay, Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes. If no one's here when the timer goes off, then I am going to end the stream. There's one piece done. One piece! Shut up, man. No one's talking to you. Does anyone else talk to themselves? Like, I know you it's more like usually intelligent people talk to themselves often. And I don't know if I'm just highly intelligent or if I just have no friends, because I talk to myself all the time. And I hate it when people are always talking about how bored they are and how, like, oh my god, this is so boring, this or that, or oh, this is so, like, annoying. And it's like, what do you mean you can't just, like, hold a little conversation with yourself in your head for, like, 20 minutes? Because it's like, if you don't hold the mental capacity to, like, have a conversation with yourself, even if you're just talking about, like, even if you're talking with the other half of your brain about, like, why fish can't breathe in air or some shit. It's like, how are you even alive? How can you even experience boredom if you don't have the mental capacity to, like, talk to yourself? It also surprises me that a lot of people don't have inner monologues. Like, what do you mean? There's just no little voice talking in your head? Like, what do you mean? Do you just exist? Are you just a fucking NPC? I don't know. A lot of people I see with inner monologues tend to not be very intelligent. I'm just gonna be honest. Hot take. People without inner monologues are stupid. No. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream because I have to wash my hands. And yeah, peace out.